And that's why it's excited, because it's that same kind of feeling, but you know how it's going to go in general. Kind of. Not live. Done lots of presentations. I've done live stand-up comedy in front of 800 people.
And that's what on YouTube, like those songs.
Right. She was.
So this thing is to be sit up straight in a chair.
you're live.
All right, hello, everyone. Welcome to Bring On the Sabbath. And as you may see that y'all watching out there, we are in a different location this evening.
And the we is different.
Oh, and the we is different. So yeah, it's not the royal we. It is. I'm joined, but who is it?
This is not Lisa.
Yeah, this is not Lisa McComb. This is Ann. Someone I met.
It
months ago,
feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, and this is my fiance, and she is joining us this evening on Bring On the Sabbath. So it's great to have Ann.
So thank you everyone for letting me be a part of this. I'm really excited for this and for this, both.
All right, so yeah, it's definitely good to have everybody out there with us. We're going to do our best. We are broadcasting from a condo.
Yes, from the Destin West Resort in Okaloosa Island, Florida.
And so the possibilities of this not working are very high. They're very high this evening. So we are recording this so that we can present the replay as the alternative form of Bring On the Sabbath this evening.
If we have a surprise guest of a seagull, we're just going to roll with it.
Yeah, if we have a seagull that wants something to eat, we will be good with that as well. All right, and I am sharing here, doing my best to share. And thing would be like the internet's not working on my computer, but this is different from what we're streaming on. So I may not be able to read your comments right now, but that's a completely different internet than what we're streaming. So again, it's good to have everybody out there. We have a great show planned this evening, don't we?
I'm sure hoping so.
I hope so. Yeah, this is your first show joining us.
Yes, if it's a great show, this was all me.
Yes, yeah, this is all
If
in.
it's not a great show, I was the newbie.
Yeah, so we have Jim O'Brien's going to be here
Yes.
this evening, and we because it's the feast, and we're coming to the feast just a couple of days.
Yes, we got here last evening, so today was our first day in Florida. We've already had our toes in the sand, been in a lazy river. What else? We did boring stuff. I made my son Connor is even going to join us in a few minutes to give us the child's perspective of the feast. So made him go get a haircut. So super exciting vacation stuff. But yeah, really excited to be here. I'm definitely in my happy place.
All right, yeah. So again, when we do have plans to do another Bring On the Sabbath during this feast, we're going to do it 1 week from today at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. a little bit early, because I guess the Sabbath actually, if you kind of look, it's kind of dark. Hopefully you can see us.
Yeah, we had these great plans of showing you the ocean. You're just going to have to trust us that there's water behind us.
Yeah, just imagine there's lights out there. You may see some reflections. There may be some ocean possibly out there. So again, join us next week, Friday, 5 o'clock, and we will have another episode live from the feast, and it will be definitely exciting to be a part of that as well. Again, this is the thing that's getting to me. As soon as I get started, my internet on my computer is not working, so I cannot see what anybody's saying. So I hope everything's going well out there in internet land. What we're probably going to do is we're going to take a break here in just a moment, and we'll get ready to bring Connor.
Yeah, so we've mentioned Jim, we've mentioned Connor. There's two other guests.
Oh, we do have two other guests. Who are they? Okay.
We have Ken Swiger joining us.
We have Ken Swiger joining us. All right.
And then we also have Erin Geisner, who is my sister-in-law, who is also part of the Independent Church of God in Atlanta, Georgia. And she's going to be just talking real quick about one of the exciting events that we have down here at the feast, just, again, giving that information and taste of what it's like down here.
All right, wonderful. So I think what we're going to do is we got a lot planned for this evening.
Yes.
Again, we're glad to be, everybody out there watching, getting ready for the feast, or if you don't know what the Feast of Tabernacles is, hopefully we'll share with you some insight of what we're doing here. Maybe you might want to join us in the future as a part of this.
Yes, we're hoping to make it look good.
Hoping to make it look good. We got some webcasting that will be done here. There's some webcasting on the Common Faith Network website. I have a website that we've created. It's really easy to find. It's fotwebcast.org or fotwebcast.com or fotwebcast.net. We'll have the webcast from here, And also we'll have one from our Myrtle Beach site, our Land Between the Lakes site, and our St. Pete site. So there's 4 webcasts on that one website, all there ready to go, that you can go there and pick the selection. The schedules are on the website. We also have in our app, you can stream the 3 CGI sites that we have. I have not figured out how to get the one here from Destin. I may figure that out in the next couple of days when I talk with some technical people, and if I do, we will let you know, and we'll make that available on the app as well. But right now, so download our app. Get ready for a really good show we have here tonight. We're going to take a break. I got to look over at the control room over there, which is just the other side of this patio, and we're going to take a short break. And when we get back, we're going to have our first guest, Connor Alvarez. And we're no longer live.
Okay. All right, Connor, come on over.
Don Henley once wrote these words, "All this fighting over who will be anointed. How can people be so blind? What does it mean to be an anointed Messiah? God once promised that King David's kingdom would endure forever. God promised that David's throne would endure forever, and that this kingdom would have dominion over all the earth. But people usually don't like to talk about an anointed Messiah ruling the earth. Instead, they want to think about going to heaven to be with Jesus after they die. We want to help you understand this issue better. Ask for our free booklet, Messiah. You can get it on CGI.org. It's free. Again, read our booklet, Messiah, on CGI.org.
All right, we are back. We're back. So again, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. We have our special guest,
Hi.
Connor. Well, thank you for being on Bring on the Sabbath
You're welcome.
this evening.
You're welcome. I wanted to.
And Connor is Anne's son, for those who are wondering out there, and soon we will be a family because did we mention we're getting married in a month?
Not on this show, no.
Yeah, we mentioned it before. We're getting married in a month.
Yeah.
Yay.
Which is crazy.
And the crazier thought was we first tried to see if we could work it out to get married. It would have been today.
It would have been today. That was our original plan.
So I'm kind of glad that we have one more month to get everything put together.
You know what? But we do have the pastor who's performing the wedding. We have it here. We could just do it.
Yeah, technically we could do it on bots.
We could do it on bots.
There you go.
Save a lot of money, right? Save a lot of money and disappoint some people.
That would be an awesome bot. Okay. Well, the reason we have Connor on here is to give us a child's perspective of the feast and what it's about and what he likes about it.
Yep.
So, Connor, can you tell us why the feast is awesome?
There's a lot of fun stuff, and we have to keep it because God wants us to.
That's a really good answer. So can you tell me about some of the fun stuff? Like, what's your favorite part of the feast?
I don't know. Everything.
Everything?
Everything.
That's about how I feel. Okay, well, can you tell us about the children's program? Because that's always one of your favorite things, right?
Yeah. It's actually pretty cool. It's not just like one of those little rooms in like a regular church. They just have Sabbath school. It's a whole thing. There's like whole sets, and every year there's one story. Like last year, like 2 years ago, was Daniel's in the Lion's Den. Last year was I forgot but it's the one with the fiery furnace. And people getting thrown in, but they survived.
Oh, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's some of the stuff you do? So you learn.
Yeah.
What else do you do?
We play.
Mm-hmm.
We craft.
And you do crafts. And do you learn some songs and perform them in
Yep.
front of everybody?
Yep.
All right. Are you looking
Yeah.
forward to it this year?
A song part a little bit. I'm a little nervous.
You're a little nervous?
Just like I'm a little nervous for this show.
Okay. Well,
I'm winging it.
That's fair.
I'm
You're winging
winging
it?
it, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair.
We have some people out there who are making a few comments. They they're making so many comments. It's hard to keep up. Saying that you're a handsome young fellow.
Thank you.
That's what Mary and Sister with Love says. So I wanted to.
Don't know who that is, but thank you.
You want to say that? And we have again quite a few people who are watching this out there. So thank y'all for watching. We'll try to look at the comments when we get a chance.
So, Connor, what's
Yay.
some of the fun things that we do down here while we're at the feast when we're not at services learning?
Yeah. There's my favorite aquarium,
Okay.
the Golfarium. When you get to the entrance, it may look super tiny, but like just about as big as this room. You probably can't see, but it's actually humongous. It has so many fish.
Okay. What else do we do?
I forgot if there's a zoo here, but
There is a zoo. We went for your birthday 2 years ago.
oh yeah. Wait, that was 1 year ago.
What else?
There's also my favorite bowling place that's really cool.
Yes.
It's called Uncle Buck's Fishing Bowl, which is really funny because it actually has it's basically decorated to have, like, it looks underwater. There's like a giant fish there's a giant boat up above, and the bar is looked like a shipwreck, and there's a bunch of fish floating above you, and there's a guy in a tank.
Okay. What about restaurants? Any place good to eat?
Yeah.
Like what?
There's a hibachi place that we went to today. I forgot what it's called. It's like Okawa or something.
Okasawa.
Oh, there we go. There it is. There's
Or
also
Okinawa, sorry. I'll get it right in a minute. What was the place you were telling me that you're really excited to go to?
I don't remember.
Okay, McGuire's.
Oh
is a favorite.
yeah, it's a restaurant. It's a restaurant. It's super cool. It basically, you can get a dollar bill and you can write your name on it, and then you can staple it to the walls anywhere. And also, it's filled with dollar bills. So when they do get closed down, they'll be rich.
It's a good side money idea. All right, anything
wonderful.
else you want to say about the feast?
It's awesome.
It is awesome.
There you go. Words
And-
from a child.
Now, Connor, do you want to join us 1 week from today and let us know like some of the things you've experienced during this Feast of Tabernacles?
Yeah.
You want to do that for a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll have you back in 1 week. So y'all get ready for that, and we'll get a feast report of how it's been so far.
And if anyone wants to make a comment about anything you'd like to hear from Connor when he reappears next week, anything you'd like for him to share with you, especially if you have any interest in possibly joining us in a future year. If you have any questions for your kids, because I can tell you, do you look forward to this?
Yeah. I look forward every year. It's one of my favorite things of my whole life.
There you go. Shining endorsement.
Yay!
All right. Well,
See you next episode.
All right. Thank you, Connor. Thank you, everybody out there still watching. Definitely, if you're on Facebook, make sure you share this with your friends on YouTube. It's good to have you out there. I'm only going to be looking at comments on our cgi.churchonline.org page today because I can't get on the internet here at the condo for some reason. Things happen, but we got another way to stream, and so we're glad that's working. So we're going to take another short break, and when we get back from that break, we'll be joined with Jim O'Brien. So we'll be back in just a moment. get to look at my good-looking legs. You get to look at the nice legs here of Mr. Jim O'Brien, who's joining us tonight.
There's going to be phone calls over that. I can see there's going to be some comments.
Joined by another handsome young man.
Yeah, another handsome young man, Mr. Jim O'Brien. We do have a few comments about Connor I want to read. One from Ray. He says he might take your place, Jeff. Great kid. So he's always good. Always believe in the Church of God. You should always train your replacement. So
And you can't start them too young.
Start them young. Start them young. Barb says, I like your frames, Connor. You're very handsome. And William 1 says, smart little fellow. So, and then we have Birgit, who says, great kid there. And Melissa Chandler says, love seeing kids speak about God. So thank y'all for the wonderful comments. Continue to comment and share. And we thank you for watching tonight. And so we're so happy to have Jim O'Brien, who is here.
I'm happy to be here. This is good.
Yeah, and we're at the Common Faith Network
Feast of Tabernacles.
Feast of Tabernacles. It's starting in a couple of days.
It's been a miraculous thing that's occurred here. It just keeps getting bigger and better, and a lot of nice things happen. A lot of activities.
I was trying to plan a dinner with some friends, and we started looking at, the schedule online and trying to come up with when on earth are we going to get together and do something that's not already planned.
See, you're one of those scheduling people.
I start with the schedule so that I have something to then be flexible from.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, everybody's got to break a rule.
Yes.
You can't keep all of the rules. So you got to have a schedule to start with, and then you start
and then we
erasing.
deviate.
Then you deviate. Yeah.
And it's quite a schedule that we have here.
It is.
And we'll talk about a little bit of that later when we have Ken.
There's a genius. Ken is the genius.
Yeah, he's the one that puts that together and makes it work out.
And it is amazing how you can come down here. I think we're here the longest I've ever been. It's going to be like 11 days, and I can guarantee you, we're going to get to the end. We're going to be driving home and coming up with all the things that we still ran out of time and didn't get to do that we'd love to down here.
Yeah, and so you've got a pretty full schedule yourself, and you've already planned things ahead of time, and then it comes in conflict sometimes with Ken's schedule.
Yes. So, but Ken figured out the way to fix that.
Yeah, he did.
He had me just start leading some of the things that are on the schedule.
I told you he was a genius. That's right. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Again. We everybody out there, maybe you're about to keep the Feast of Tabernacles somewhere. Maybe you're going to be here. And so if you are watching this, let us know that you're here or you're coming here, and that you saw Bring on the Sabbath and you're excited about it. But we do have some who are watching our program who maybe this is the first time you've heard of the Feast of Tabernacles, or you're watching this Feast of Tabernacles.
One family a week to call, and about half of those have ended up attending church for one of the holy days. There is a renewed interest around all of Christendom on the holy days. What are they about? What do they mean? They have a very Christological meaning, every one of them. This didn't just come out of nowhere. There was something in the background. But here's really the question. When it goes all the way back to Adam and Eve, why are there tornadoes? Why are there hurricanes? Why is there cancer? Why are there the tragedies that occur on this earth? And the answer is very simple. This world is not the world that God wanted it to be. Something changed all of those things. Something messed everything up. When you read the scriptures that talk about the lion shall dwell with the lamb, a child is going to play on a snake's den. A child will take a lion and lead it. Well, if that's the way it was planned to be by God, what happened? Well, there was an adversary that came in and messed everything up. And 2 Corinthians 4:4 says that he is the evil god of this world. The Feast of Tabernacles pictures the next world, a time when he will not mess things up, when there will be a lion dwelling. Those scriptures are too specific to be esoteric, to be theoretical. They are real. They are going to happen. So Jesus Christ will return to the earth, and when he returns, he will be God of this world. So the Feast of Tabernacles is a is a statement of faith. When I come to keep the Feast of Tabernacles, I am saying, I believe God is going to come to this earth again as he came before. But this time, he will rule the world, and there will be peace on the earth. There won't be wars. There won't be sickness and illness. There won't be animals that attack human beings. There will not be these terrible weather patterns. It's hard to imagine. It's almost like telling a person, can you imagine not having a lock on your house? No. Can you imagine not having a key to your car? That there's actually a world that's going to come where there won't be thieves and robbers, and there's not going to be an army to make war, where there's not going to be criminals, there's not going to be sickness, you won't have hospitals, you won't have police departments, all those kinds of things. The world will change. So the Feast of Tabernacles is a little week period of time, 1 week, to say, we believe in the world to come, that God has originally created it to be better than this, and when it was changed, and Adam and Eve were put out of the garden. Imagine, look, they had it made. I mean, it was perfect. You got this garden, and you don't have to pay for clothes. You don't have to pay rent on your house. You don't have to buy food. You don't have to pay taxes. You don't have any of those problems. And what's to find fault with? But somebody came in and corrupted all of that, and the world has been different ever since. So the world we live in, we kind of accept that's the way it is. It is what it is, you know, as we say. But this world is going to be different than the world that is now. So the Feast of Tabernacles is a picture, just a tiny little microcosm of what that world's going to be.
The kingdom of God.
The kingdom of God on earth, that's right. Where his spirit will reign, there will be peace and joy and prosperity. You know, sometimes you can start thinking, God wants me to be poor. God wants me to be sick. I need to be humble. That's true, I do need to be humble. But he also wants me to have wealth. It's hard for us to think, when you go back to Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 47, he says, because you did not rejoice in all of these things. So he says there is a time, God says you have to come together and rejoice. And the Feast of Tabernacles is one of those times. So he wants us to be happy. He wants us to be healthy. He wants us to be wealthy. So the feast is one of those great examples of that kind of a time.
Yeah, I think the feast is a time that we can kind of experience some of that. If we've saved up our festival tithe, we're able to come and kind of experience the blessings that, as far as what it is to be kind of a small picture of being among God's people. These are the people we're going to be with. It's going to be in that kingdom. It's going to be that Christ is calling now to help them rule in that kingdom. And here we are together, and we're kind of just trying to do our best to picture that in the things that we do in our interactions.
You know, you mentioned a couple of things there that are fascinating things. One, we're always concerned about money, but this is one time that I'm less concerned about money. And my wife will say, wait, is this the same Jim that I'm married to the rest of the year? The tightwad, a little, you know, she doesn't say that, but you know.
I don't understand. I'm an accountant.
You're an accountant.
So you should see my lovely spreadsheet that is my budget, where every dollar is accounted for. But this is the 1 week that my son knows every gift shop that we go in. He's got a good chance he's gonna get something.
Is this my mom? Who stole my mom? Where is she?
I know I already got a dragon yesterday and a dragon today, but we're in a third gift shop. Can I get something else? And you know, yeah, so everybody has those things that they do this week that they know they're doing something different. I actually leisurely drank a cup of coffee and got to eat breakfast outside, listening to the water, and you
don't get to do that during the week,
no,
huh?
No. I usually get about 30 seconds to eat my food before rushing Connor out the door, and then have to drink my coffee sitting in Atlanta traffic. So yes, it feels very different. If this is the kingdom, thy kingdom come.
Yeah.
Just
Definitely good.
a small taste of it. That's
Yes.
exactly right.
Yes.
That for a while you can relax, and the other
And being surrounded, like I said, being surrounded by God's people.
Exactly.
Going to the beach and seeing all these other families that you know, and it's like a wonderful family reunion here.
it is.
I love it when I start seeing people for the first time in the hotel we're at or the condo we're at, and like, oh, there's somebody here to keep the Feast of Tabernacles. And I think the first person I ran to was Anthony Kimmons.
Yeah.
And he said, if you need any kind of thing for bots or whatever, let me know and I can help you out. And come to mention that, we needed an extension cord and a power strip, and so he was there helping us out. And it's that kind of camaraderie and
It's a family.
that we have here. You know, everybody's family, and that's the things we have. We have some people who have made some comments. Alfred and Lee here on our website say, we will not know war and stealing no more. No more
That's
war
right.
and stealing. Marion in North Carolina says a world of total peace. Skip Martin is watching. So hey, Skip, and Skip is down at the Feast of Tabernacles in Kentucky.
He's just
Dam
10
Village.
miles
Yeah.
from my home where I
10
grew
miles
up.
from where you
Yeah.
grew up. Wonderful one. Again, that's one of the ones that's going to be that was going to be on our webcasting stream on the app or on the website. Wonderful feast there. He makes a comment. It will take a while, though, is what he says. The river of life will go forth from Jerusalem and cleanse the waters, and the Holy Spirit will go forth also.
It's true.
And he says, I believe the millennium is 1,000 years because the earth needs to be prepared for about 70 billion people who will be resurrected later. And again, we also picture that at the end of the feast. We talk about that quite a bit.
You know, if you've read the book How the West Won,
Yeah.
he makes a graphic description of these Aztec and Mayans and how the Incas and historians will talk about these great civilizations. Well, these great civilizations had human sacrifices into the millions. They had 16 sacrifices a year, and one of those sacrifices, there were as many as 80,000 people sacrificed. Now, can you imagine, here's this warrior over there down someplace in Mexico. He's eking out a living. It's hot, it's hard, it's dawn to dusk, and things go wrong, and maybe there's some diseases, maybe he has a child or two that dies. And here then comes this Aztec warrior that comes out and grabs him and takes him to the pyramid and sacrifices him to his god. Now, when he comes up in the resurrection, what's he going to see? Typical Christianity says he's going to be thrown into Gehenna fire and burned forever because he never accepted Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wouldn't that person have the right to say, look, if I'm just going to live a miserable existence and then I'm going to burn for all eternity, why did you ever give me life in the first place? Yeah. There has to be a chance for people like that. There has to be an opportunity that they come and they can understand Jesus Christ, they can understand God, and that is their chance. That eighth day, what we would call the eighth day of the Feast of Tabernacles, but it's really a separate feast. But it's an opportunity for all the vast majority of mankind who've never understood the truth.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful thing that as far as the gospel, that message the world doesn't know about it.
They don't.
And again, that's why a lot of people who are atheists, who are like they can't believe in God, because how can God in the Bible, they believe the standard thing about everybody 70 billion people burning in hell. That's what it would be, instead of the 70 billion people or however many million people who will be resurrected. That God has a perfect plan for everyone in their own time, and that we picture kind of our part of it, and then how it's going to eventually play out.
There was an evangelist one time, Rex Humbard, and he was on one of his telecasts, and he was saying that he saw the continental drift where the oceans occurred, and he said it finally came to him once that God was weeping because there were more evil people than God thought there were going to be, so he had to expand the earth to make hell bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is something.
Men come up with a lot of weird
You
ideas.
underestimated his civil engineering needs for hell. Okay.
He did.
Yeah.
So the point is, God did know what was going to happen, and he factored in an opportunity for people to repent, for people to know him, and His desire is for people to live forever in joy and peace.
Yeah. I guess what we want to do as the Church of God, we want people to learn about this.
Yes.
And then they can learn about it by coming to the Feast of Tabernacles. But we definitely need younger people who are probably like skilled or trained in this knowledge of the Bible.
You're exactly right,
Yeah.
Jeff. The most frequent statement that's made that I hear from kids from 14 all the way up to adults, young adults, 30 years of age, let's say, they will say, "I believe this, but I don't know how to justify it. I need the scriptural basis for these things. I have sort of a broad knowledge, but I need something that's more specific." So what we decided to do was to start an online, if you want to call it a college, a university, a school. So we've invested some money in the software.
And you say we, you're talking about the Common Faith Network.
Common Faith Network.
Yes.
That's right. And we have some people who actually are college professors that teach, Dusty Howe and Deanne Howe.
Wonderful.
And they teach the process of teachers using the online courses. And so they're going to teach some of our people who will be professors, teachers. And we'll go through a fundamentals of the faith.
Yeah, and I volunteered to
And
do
you
that.
volunteered. Yeah, I volunteered you.
You voluntold me. Yeah, that's what happens.
I voluntold
you. Yeah, which is good. And we have some other folks, from different, all around the Church of God is going to be a part of this, I hear.
There are a variety of people
Yeah.
from various churches in the Church of God, and we will go through fundamentals of the faith. Does God exist? The validity of the Bible, the authenticity. Is it really an authentic book? Is Jesus Christ the Son of God?
Yeah.
Is the law of God, is it still valid? What is the law of God all about? What about the Sabbath? Why do we keep the Sabbath? What do the holy days mean? What is conversion? So we will go through, and each of these will be a 7-week course, and they will meet online. They don't necessarily have to be there all at the same time, but they can come in. If some kids, 2 o'clock in the morning is the time, they pull this up, and the professor will have, there's a reading or a listening thing, whether it's a sermon by Ron Dart or it's, any of those things.
Yes. We have so many resources.
We have so
available.
many resources.
Yes.
This is this week's assignment. We will start asking questions. Answer this question now. Go through this assignment, answer this question. When you answer this question, then the whole class, you're opened up to the entire class to see what everybody else is saying too. And we can discuss these things back and forth. And then on Friday night, we can all meet together as a group, and we can see each other online, and we can talk to one another and raise our hands and ask questions.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this. Common Faith Academy, I guess maybe might be the name for it.
Yeah, it looks like that's what it'll be.
Sounds like, I'm excited to be a part of it, excited for what it's going to do for the Church of God. I'm excited that the Church of God are pulling our resources together to do something for the future.
It is true, isn't it?
Yeah.
The creative ability of people to do these things is unlimited. That God has given us a spirit, He's given us His spirit, and those are things that just can't be stopped.
Yeah. Skip Martin says, here a comment for you, he says, ask Jim if he can talk about what we discussed yesterday. So what were we discussing yesterday with Skip, and why is it he bringing it up?
Well, Skip is, as a lot of us are known to pick up sermons from Ron Dart.
Yeah.
And we get these ideas from him, and sometimes we'll jot these ideas down. We'll say, I can develop that on my own and come up with, give a good sermon on that. So Skip developed this, there's this fantastic sermon that Ron Dart gave at the feast back in 2004 in Arkansas. So Skip is, he gives this to Blake Silverstein, and Blake said, that wasn't Ron Dart, that was Jim O'Brien's sermon. So I don't know whether any of the ideas are the same, because if he couldn't remember who gave the sermon, I don't know if he's going to remember the idea. He took notes on the sermon.
Okay, wonderful, good stuff. Marion from North Carolina, she asked, will they teach about sacred names, or I guess there's some, or maybe how there's different understandings in the church, and what probably the proper teachings on different things. I think we would probably get to that eventually at some point?
We want to go through the fundamentals.
Fundamentals first.
And what people need is a foundation in what the Bible teaches, what the Church of God believes.
Yeah.
The old correspondence course that Mr. Armstrong really did that very nicely, but that started back in the 50s. There's been new information, there's updated teaching methods. This is a different world. The way Connor is growing up is different than the way I grew up.
Yes. In fact, I wanted to mention some of what you were saying, explaining, what the feast is, why we do it. I have a book, and it's a children's book. It's a little hardback book. It's called Time to Tabernacle.
Yeah. Fantastic little book,
yes,
isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
We were just reading it the other night before coming here, and it was saying a lot of the same things. I've got like the little animated pictures in my head as you were telling your story this evening. So I'm a big fan of finding things of how you can take all these concepts and bring it all the way down to children.
That's the old Basil Wolverton Bible story book, that was good for its time, but our kids don't identify so much with that sort of Bible story. And what you're talking about, the little book, you can sit down with the kids and go through that, and they connect with it. They like the pictures, they like the way she describes it. It's an excellent way to do it. So, as far as other things, we will hit the foundations first. We will cover those things. There's a lot of things that will probably occur in discussions. The young people said we'd like to get together from time to time. Mm-hmm. We've said, all right, in Cincinnati, we own a building. Knoxville owns a building. Atlanta
owns a building.
Atlanta owns a building. If we can get kids from this area, when I say kids, I'm going to be 72 in a few.
Yeah.
Am I still in that
kids
category?
Kids or anyone younger than you?
You're still in that category. And you're one of the smarter kids, but you're
all right. Best in my class.
Best in your class.
We haven't started the classes yet, but I'm best in my class.
That's right. So we've said, all right, if you want to stay here, we will provide housing, we'll provide food if you can get here and get back home. And then one of the professors can come in. We can have several sessions, ask questions, talk back and forth, so on. What we want to build is a community of believers who can see each other and talk to one another.
Yeah.
With a valid basis for their beliefs.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. And so when we get it started, we'll have to come back and talk about it some more, and we'll definitely promote it and see and get people signed up for it. So when do you think it's going to be roll out?
Well, we hope to do this first part of January.
Okay, wonderful.
And Dusty and Deanne will be teaching how to teach using the modal platform.
Okay.
And here at the feast, then we'll do it again at the Winter Family Weekend in Lexington, and then we'll do it again at the Quality Church Retreat in Gatlinburg next spring. Okay. So it's an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, wonderful. I guess that's all we have right now. We have to move on. I think the time is moving there. I thank everyone out there making comments. At one point, I looked on here, and I thought everybody was speaking with tongues because I accidentally hit the Spanish button, and everything was translating to Spanish. I was like, oh, I better refresh this. But we're now back in English, and I see everyone out there, your comments. So definitely keep the comments coming. We're going to take another short break.
I have a comment.
And we have a comment from the Peanut Gallery. You have a comment from Wesley?
Shopping with you, man?
You want to come to some gift shops with me? I know where all the really good ones are.
All right, so we're going to take another short break, and when we get back from that break, we'll be joined by Ken Swiger, and we'll continue our talk about what we're doing, the genius behind planning this Feast of Tabernacles. And people who are wondering, like, you just tuned in, like, what's going on? Why are these people sitting at the beach?
Yeah.
Well, we are in Fort Walton Beach. We're broadcasting live. A couple of days, we bring it on the Sabbath. The Sabbath has already begun, and we're kind of bringing in the feast on this program. So after this break, we'll get back and we'll talk more about what we'll be doing this week. right, we are back. We are back. I have a few comments I'd like to read regarding what we just spoke about before the break. Birgit, she says, I love the idea about the college, something that would make it easy for her to explain to her grandchildren also, or just go to a park and hang out there and teach, or maybe in a lake. So maybe, I guess some people would like to be able to learn enough so they can teach others.
Yes, that's exactly the point of it.
Point of it. And it's open to any age,
Yes.
younger than you, which is most everybody. So.
That's right.
Right. And maybe older.
There's nobody
as well.
older.
And yeah, nobody older. So all ages are open to this. Someone says, good to see Ann on here. And yeah, it's good to have Ann here. I have a comment, says, Ann is so cute. I agree. She should be a regular. Well, I'm working on that. We're getting married in about a month. So we'll be a regular on Bots, I believe. And Alfred and Lisa, I've never been to a feast site that had over 200 people. And how many we have at this feast site? And actually, like right here, we have our next guest, Ken, who has joined us. He just magically appeared here on the couch. So hey, Ken, glad to have you here.
Thank you. I appreciate the invitation.
So you are the coordinator of this feast site.
That's correct.
So I want to ask you this question or this comment. He said they said they've never been to a feast site over 200 people. How many people do we expect at the feast site here in Fort Walton Beach?
Probably about 850 this year. I think we had 969 registered last year. So I'm expecting in the 850 range this year.
Okay. That's quite a large feast site. So if you've been to a feast site with maybe 100, 200, this is probably going to be a different experience.
From all that is there's a great source of talent. You got all those people. We have people who are able to utilize talents God gave them, willing to use their abilities, and one of the things we like to do is empower people to get involved instead of just being spectators at the feast. We want them to be participants.
Yes. Yeah. So as the coordinator of this feast, you have to get a lot of people to do that.
Well, my job is to delegate.
Delegate.
And get other people to do things, and we're blessed with a good team of people.
And so how long have you been coordinating this site?
This site, I've been working on the team since 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
And when do you start planning for the Feast of Tabernacles? What time of year?
We have a lunch at the end of this one.
Yeah, we actually start this year planning for next year before the feast is over.
So it's a year-round process.
As a matter of fact, we do before the feast occurs, we're already looking at venue and dates and everything for next year.
Okay. So what are some great things planned for the feast here, do you think, that you would like to talk about, or we can highlight for our viewers out there?
Some awesome speakers and seminars. We have an abundance of talented speakers, and most days this year we're going to have 2 speakers. We'll have split sermons. We've got a worldwide presence. We've got John Classic coming in from Australia.
All right.
We have Jeff Reed on the docket. We have Jim O'Brien. We have Guy Swinson, Bill Jacobs, Lenny Cascio, Patrick Hines, Kurt Hoyer,
Kelly O'Donnell.
Kelly McDonald. And before the feast tomorrow, we got a special guest speaker for the weekly Sabbath, which is Dusty Howell.
Okay.
So Dusty will be speaking to us tomorrow. We do have a little shameless plug here. We have a service tomorrow at the convention center for the weekly Sabbath. Starts at 2 o'clock. If you're anywhere in Alabama, in the Panhandle, please plan to come and join us for the weekly Sabbath. We'll have a great time.
All right. So with the Feast of Tabernacles, like someone who's never come to a feast or they've never been to this Feast of Tabernacles, what should they bring? What should they expect in services? Is there a certain dress code? What is expected?
Absolutely.
When you're there, what do you have for the children?
We require everyone to wear clothes.
Okay, so shirt, shoes are required, and pants.
Yes, but no, seriously, we have a relatively casual atmosphere. There's no one checking apparel at the door. Everyone's welcome. a lot of people would probably say that the typical attire is business casual.
Okay.
Sometimes I will be wearing a tie some days, and some days I won't. We're not of a mindset to police, apparel. So just bring your clothes that you're comfortable in. But I would point out that we're appearing before God, and that's part of what we do at the feast. He tells us in Deuteronomy 16 that there's 3 seasons in the year that His people are to appear before Him, and we are to rejoice. So wear your happy clothes.
Yeah.
We're supposed to rejoice before God. It is the best time of year. I like to think of it as the season of our joy. This is when we are at our best, we are at our happiest, we are most fulfilled, because it looks forward to the time when the Messiah returns and puts down this evil age that we live in, and He's going to make everything worthwhile. It's going to work in the world made new.
All right, Ken, at the family game night / karaoke night, I want you to be on special lookout for our happy clothes. We bought family costumes.
All right.
To
Yeah.
So you were prepared to rejoice. You brought your happy clothes. There you go.
It may be like a Wookiee and Cookie Monster. I'm not saying who's who in those outfits, but
That'll be awesome.
we may have that.
We like to rejoice. We're here to rejoice before God. It is a spiritual event, but we have a lot of family fun. We do a lot of fun activities.
So if you come to this Feast of Tabernacles, expect to have fun.
Absolutely. Enjoy good family fellowship. You'll meet family members you didn't know you had, and I expect they'll become your lifelong friends. I can tell you from experience that we meet people at the feast, and we only get to see them for the most part one time, that one season a year, but they become very close to us. And you mentioned earlier it's like a family reunion. That couldn't be there's not a better way to state that. We get together with family. We are brothers and sisters in the faith, and we love each other.
And if you had a family reunion and everybody came in mourning, you would say, Mom and Dad probably wouldn't be happy about that. Family reunions are happy occasions.
That's a fact. Yeah, it's a time to rejoice.
All right. Well, I thank you for being on here this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. We do have one more guest.
Yeah.
That another family member of we have Aaron Giesner who's coming
we're
up.
taking over.
Yes, we're taking over. but related to what you're talking about, right? Because there's an event that the Independent Church of God in Atlanta is planning as part of this Feast of Tabernacles, and I guess we're going to talk about what it takes to do that.
And they do
All right, to do that,
job.
and so we're going to hear a little bit about that.
Jeff, I do want to say that everyone is welcome at our feast.
All right,
You're
wonderful.
welcome to come out. We'll welcome you and treat you like family.
And everybody out there, if you can't make it, what's the website that they can go to where it streams?
I can't quote it to you right now, but we will have a website. It's on our new website. There's a link there that you can click for live streaming. So we will live stream the daily services,
Okay.
and we also intend to live stream the fun show on Saturday night because we had a request for that. So we're going to try to accommodate that.
All right, wonderful. And we have a website that CGI has put together. It's fotwebcast.org. or fotwebcast.com, fotwebcast.net. I got them all. It's like I'm going to get them all so that we got them covered. Go to that, and you can find the link to this one and other feast sites there. Watch streaming, watch it, and then think about how you're going to be at one next year and come be a part of it. Come be a part of the fun. Come be a part of the joy that we have together as we praise God, as we come together celebrating what God wants us to be about.
Amen.
So we're going to take another short break, and we got our special bonus guest. coming up here in just a moment. And so when we get back from this break, y'all stay tuned. We will have Aaron Geisner as part of this.
Lost, you're told that since this person has not accepted Christ in this life, the death of a loved one is a terrible thing. Knowing that this person has been removed from your life is awful enough. But then, many times, when a person goes to a Christian minister for comfort after such a loss, you're told that since this person has not accepted Christ in this lifetime, he or she, at this very moment, is burning in hell. What a horrifying thought that a loved one is suffering in red-hot agony 24 hours a day, month after month, year after year, forever and ever, with no relief in sight. This person will have to endure ever-blazing fire for eternity. Actually, none of this is true. If you've lost a loved one, that person is not screaming and withering in burning agony. They are simply sleeping peacefully. We can prove this to you from the Bible. We have an Armor of God message on this subject by Mike James. It's called The Fate of Unbelievers. It's free on our website at cgi.org. Please check it out so that you can learn more about the true fate of your loved ones who have died not accepting Christ. Again, it's called The Fate of Unbelievers by Mike James.
It's kind of nice to have that water in the background and the
Yes,
sound.
it's very relaxing.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we're back.
We're enjoying the sounds
Yeah, we're
of the
enjoying
water.
the sounds of the water. It's like it's so nice to hear the sounds of the water and to be here, just on the beach, enjoying things. And it looks like we were joined by another beautiful woman has joined us on here. And yeah, again, like with these two, and then we bring Connor back, and I'm out of a job because I guess they've done taken over, bringing on stuff. So we have Erin Geisner, who is here, and she. What is the relationship between?
Anne is my sister-in-law.
Okay.
Of almost 10 years now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
even like each other now.
Yeah.
Now,
So the reason we brought Aaron on, as Ken mentioned, one of the great things about this feast site is that they really do encourage and promote people to not be passive, people just coming to the feast, but to be involved and to run things, and it becomes such a blessing to serve other people here at the feast. So Aaron and I both attend the Independent Church of God in Atlanta, and this is our third time running the family beach picnic that we have here at the feast. And Aaron is by far and away the mastermind behind it, and the rest of us are just sous chefs. So Aaron, tell us about some of the stuff. What has it taken in the past to put this together?
it takes about 8 people, 2 hours in Sam's Club,
Okay.
with several pallets, more lists than you can count.
And Erin does all of her lists on pen and spiral bound notebooks.
I'm very old school.
And as an accountant, it drives me insane.
It does. It's part of the fun. No, it takes a lot of work, but it is a labor of love. I usually make cakes from scratch. We will stay up late.
How many cakes to feed?
Usually I
masses?
do 3 full sheet cakes.
Okay.
So the huge
Like
ones.
the giant ones that are half a table.
And she elaborately decorates them, like with white chocolate fall-colored leaves, and it. This year she's taking a break. I don't know if you can tell. She's just had 2 knee replacement surgeries. So now you're going to do the electric scooter around Sam's and
Yes.
order the rest of us around, getting everything
Yes,
on the pallets.
take a year off from cake baking. We will still have cupcakes, and several people are helping making gluten-free desserts and diabetic-friendly desserts. So we
Because
really
Kim mentioned
include
how many people
everyone.
come to this feast site. So imagine, if you've ever cooked out for people, if you've ever thrown a picnic together, imagine trying to grill out for 500 people at the beach. And she made homemade Caesar dressing to go with salad for 500 people. So it's become quite the elaborate and amazing event to have everybody descend upon the beach.
Yes.
Have a great meal. We take over a beach. There's another group that does family activities out on the beach. It's pretty crazy.
It is crazy, fun chaos.
And, we just continue to want to do more. And I know we mentioned that you start planning for next year at the end of the previous year's feast. Well, I made the comment at the end of last year's feast that we seem to have an event for the young adults, a singles meet and greet for 20s. I'm past that. And then they have a singles thing for kind of 50 and up. But everyone in the middle was kind of left out. And I said, I was single and said, everyone talks about meeting someone at a church event. And I've never met anybody at a church event. So I'm going to run a singles, a 30 to 50 singles, event next year at the feast. Maybe I'll meet somebody. Well, now it's kind of funny because now I'm going to co-run the singles event with my fiance. Technically, we are still single.
That's technically,
Technically, we're going on a technicality that, and Ken didn't want to have to find someone else to run it. Because that was a really fun phone call to make to Ken. Of, do you still want me to run the singles event? I just got engaged. So yeah, we're gonna go do axe throwing, and then go eat at Margaritaville. So there is something for everybody here at this feast. Can you think of any other events that you want to mention that?
For the tweens, they usually have a fabulous bowling evening at Uncle Buck's Fishbowl. By far the coolest bowling place I've seen in a long time.
And you're definitely looking forward to the family hoedown, right?
I got outfits, but I won't be hoeing down to say. I won't be dancing, but I will.
I told her she could hoe
in
down, but
costume.
she ain't gonna hoe back up.
I will not. I will raise the roof from my seat. But I will.
I could promenade you like in a wheelchair.
I'm sure that would go fabulously. And this feast site also has an amazing children's program. We both have children, and at the end of each year, they're already asking, what's next year's Sabbath school going to be about? It's truly a fabulous feast site for everyone.
Any comments that you want to cover? Or because otherwise she and I can just sit here on a couch and keep talking.
We'll just keep talking for the next couple hours. I'll let you go. Let you go.
Let us know.
We'll just go through our list of, okay, so where are we having lunch tomorrow? And where are we having dinner tomorrow?
It's an ever-growing list.
Yes, and I'm so happy to now become a
Join
part of this
the
family.
craziness.
Join the craziness, because I will be there when you're picking out stuff and helping you load
Yes,
and probably be one of your sous chefs and.
Definitely.
We'll have to
Definitely,
take some
and definitely, I was shocked to find out that I was co-planning this with you, the singles event. But it seemed like all of a sudden my name started showing up on this thing. I said, I guess we're doing this, right?
Doing this.
So I guess
just like you told me I was going to be on bots tonight.
yeah,
So
it's one of them things. It's like the voluntold.
our names just keep now appearing beside each other. It's a weird, weird thing.
Very odd event.
Yeah, and William, he says he admires Ann's sister for doing so much for others, and Barb says loves your voice.
Oh,
So your voice is coming across really well. You have a very interesting voice that probably is great for broadcasting.
I've been told that in not so many words, so thank you.
But she loves your voice. And so again, we thank everybody out there who are watching. We thank you for setting aside this time on this Sabbath day as we bring on the Sabbath, as we are here on Fort Walton Beach in the condo.
I hope you're all bringing on the Sabbath.
Bringing
as
on the
nicely
Sabbath.
as we are.
I mean, we have a lot of fun things still planned. We have upstairs of here. We have a hot tub on the roof that we thought about. I don't know. This is like like I thought about it.
Joked about having
We
the
joked
hot tub
about
edition.
maybe we could have the hot tub edition of Bring on the Sabbath, but maybe we're not there yet to do
We
that.
just pan over to Ken Swiger in the hot tub, pan over to Jim in the hot tub,
So
give everybody little drinks
yeah.
with umbrellas.
We're not there yet on that
No.
on Bring on the Sabbath, but we definitely we are relaxed tonight because we are here. What you should do on the Sabbath: enjoy the Sabbath, relax, think about the great things that God has planned for us, and also that's being planned in this feast.
And hopefully, when we come back next week, our waistlines won't be too much different.
Yes. All right, we'll take another short break, and when we get back, we'll say our final goodbyes. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Hi, we'd like to offer you some free literature and a CD on today's program. We want to offer you the booklet, Immortality, God's Gift to the Saints. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have an immortal soul. You can gain immortality, but it is a gift from God. Get Immortality, God's Gift to the Saints. We also want you to get the full-length sermon CD, Enoch and Elijah by Mike James. Please, to get both these items free of charge, call toll-free 1-888-578-8791. That's 1-888-578-8791. Or you can order by visiting our website, www.cgi.org. That's www.cgi.org.
We are back. I want to thank our guest tonight. Jim had to head on to another event because there's so much going on.
Yes.
When you're at the Feast of Tabernacles, but we thank Jim for being here. We thank Ken. We thank Aaron and Ann and Connor for being on Bring on the Sabbath, and we thank everyone out there who watched and shared this program. Thank you for being a part of it. Please join us again next week when we come back at an earlier edition at 5 p.m. right here from the Feast of Tabernacles. We'll be broadcasting from where we keep from the main stage, I guess, there of the convention center here from Feast of Tabernacles, and maybe some people might want to come be a part of the audience and be a part of it. Come join us. So we'll be back in 1 week. We thank everybody for joining us. So everyone have a good night, and may God bless your Sabbath. Goodbye.
Bye.